What's up, good people? It's your boy Laws OSS 980, Other Side of Sports. I'm in here solo dolo. We're going to talk about it all, though. Uh, I had to get a crew tonight off. It just been a crazy week for the kid, managing a whole bunch of stuff. But we going to make sure that we always come talk to the people. Uh, First things first, how about them Wizards? How about them Wizards? I didn't say them Wizards. I said them with a D. Them Wizards. My boys is real. We got to, at this point, we just have to acknowledge the Washington Wizards are the most entertaining team in this city right now. There's not a hotter ticket than the Washington Wizards right now. Kuzma is cooking. Dinwiddie is cooking. Montrezl Harrell may be the steal of the entire offseason. This dude is a starting power forward that comes off the bench. The other night I saw Denny Avdia do stuff that I've never seen him do. And I can only attribute it to what Montrezl Harrell has been doing for this team. He has become the heart and soul of this team. He's a floor general. He's a leader. He blocks shots. He played strap-up defense. He's not afraid of the contact. He's an enforcer. He's not soft. He's not cookie dough. No sweet water. Nowhere can be found on him. All he do is cook and take care of business. He don't turn the ball over. He runs the pick and roll, the screen and roll. He finishes around the cup. He finishes everything. He either getting fouled or and one. Nobody's pushing him off the block, moving him. It don't matter if they 7 foot. It don't matter who it is. He's not getting pushed around like we used to see with Thomas Bryant getting moved, and none of that's happening with Montrezl Harrell in the game. The Washington Wizards team looks like a team I've never seen them look like in my entire lifetime. When have you seen them down by 17 and come back and win a game that they should win against a team that they should beat? They came back against New Orleans. I'm just, right now, this team, they like playing with each other. They have belief in one another. The confidence levels is high. I mean, some people will argue that Kuzma out here talking crazy because he just so confident in his game. And, the other night he hit the 2 game winners, and I like it. I like all the confidence that he's displaying. I like the fact that he's coming out here and giving you quiet double-doubles every single night. I like it that we can miss our star scorer in Bradley Beal, and the team still take care of business. I like what I'm seeing from Kispert. I like that Denny Avdia is starting to evolve into a good plug-and-play guy. He's not a superstar. But what he's doing, he's active on around the cup, he's active on defense, active hands. He hustles. He gets back on defense. He doesn't take ill-advised shot. He's starting to finish around the cup now. And all of it, I can attribute to him having to go up against a Montrezl Harrell who's in his head. Other night, I saw Montrezl Harrell take Denny Avdia to the side and basically coach him up. We've never had that. In my lifetime, we've never had that. Even when we had Jameson, Karan, they wasn't coaching the young guys like this. If the young guys were sorry, they'd just be like, "I'm sorry," and whatever. But you see, the veteran leaders of this team kind of taking the younger guys under the wing. The younger guys are are listening to the older guys and not just brushing them off, winning culture is starting to fester in this town. And I can feel it. And I believe in it. Some people think I'm overreacting. If Aaron was on here, he'd be like, dog, got a temper. It's still early. It's still early. It is really early. But the 9-3 going to 10-3, top of the East. Come on now. We're not gonna act like that's not a real thing. We're not gonna act like that's not a real thing. We're not gonna do that. Especially when we got the other team down the street playing like some trash. And you're not gonna take my joy over the Washington Wizards. I'm not gonna let nobody do it, dog. We ain't been good in so long. It's been so long since my mob has been good, dog. This might be the best team, the best Wizards team ever. And they ain't got a chip yet. They ain't even made to the playoffs yet. I know there's people say, oh, you gotta chill out. You too hype. They're gonna get to the playoffs, lose in the first round. Whoa, whoa. They've already exceeded my expectations. Already. Right now, at this pace, and we've seen what happens to a team when they believe they can get a W. We see the Phoenix Suns turn their whole franchise around with one signing in Chris Paul, and now, like it's a foregone conclusion. They're a playoff team and the top 5 seed in the West. They went to the championship. Shout out my man Rick. My man Rick asked the question today. He said, if the Wizards went to the chip, would I shed a tear? Answer is yes, I would, dog. Win or lose, they make it there. Dog, you know how many times I threw my remote control at the TV? You know how many times I kicked over, some object in my living room or spaz or ran outside and was like, what are you doing? All the times I kirked when we had Nene, all the times I kirked when the roster was trash. Like where the roster was so trash, I didn't want to turn the games on. Because I knew I was bound to Kirk. When we had Jordan Crawford, old Jack himself, who wouldn't pass the ball, but Bama's would just be selfish. You have a routine fast break, a Bama head, and he would just see the Bama head and just keep dribbling to the basket and then miss a layup or take an ill-advised 3. All the times where we would be in a game, start the game out cooking. Then by the third quarter come around, these Bama's down by 45 in the third quarter. Like it's like the third quarter Bama's forgot how to play basketball and just start playing soccer or something and just lost the lead. And now they down by double digits. Or all the times where I'm looking at us come out of a timeout and the coach don't have a play drawn up. These Bama's running to each other on the baseline and there's no spacing, nothing. All the times I had to deal with that and endure that foolishness. The draft pick after draft pick after draft pick, that's some cold cut. I could find a Bama at the Bowie Rec Center that's better than the Bama's they drafting. What was my man name, yeah? Came from overseas. That Bama ain't even John Vesely. That Bama ain't even in the league no more. I can't find this Bama in rec league nowhere. Somebody Google him, dog. Google John Vesely, see where he at, dog. I bet he changed and tied somewhere to AutoZone somewhere. These dudes, all I had to deal with all the time, the games where I just didn't even want to like talk basketball. It took the life out of me. I didn't want to watch basketball games no more because the Bams was so trash. I didn't have no words to defend them. And I kirk. Like I don't really kirk that much no more. But I used to kirk. And I would kirk without cursing either. Like I wouldn't say no cuss words. but I would just be spazzing. Mrs. be looking at me like, young, what's wrong with you, dog? And like, I really had to get help. That's how bad I was kirking over how sorry these Bama's was. The coaching, the organization. I'm spazzing on Ernie, Tommy, all the Bama's we had, all these weak coaches we had to deal with year in and year out. They changed the roster over, try to sell you a dream, and you know it's going to be another year of just foolishness and trash. Like, you just know, but they still try to sell you, right? They took my man off the air. They messed up the broadcast, and I was kirking. They took Phil Chenier. Them Bama's been on the jump 200 years. They took my man Phil off the. I was kirking off of that. And now, finally, some life. Some life. And Aaron will tell you, shout out Aaron, he'll tell you that it don't take that long. Just a little bit of competence, and you get a different outcome from your basketball team. This team can actually run a play out of a timeout. I no longer have to watch the team and be like my man Rick Dad and talking about careless mistakes. You're not looking at what you the jump pat. You going to the lane, you going up, and then you try to pass the ball. You never jump to make a pass. They teach you that in Little League, and I used to watch that all the time. And you don't jump to make a pass, and that's all the Bama's did was turn the ball over. Now we take care of the rock. The only I really analyzed the team, and I know I'm just hype off the jump. I know I jump off the deep end. That's what I do. But I analyzed the team, and I said to myself, what don't I like about this team? What am I worried about? Do you know that the only thing I'm really worried about is when Bama's get healthy and come back? I shouldn't even be worried about that. These dudes are cooking. What are they going to do with the timing and when man, don't come back. If you're not going to be in line with what's going on right now, don't come back. Don't come back. Yes, I'm talking to all the Bama's that's hurt. We don't see around the team. Bryant, the other Bama, the power forward we got. I don't even know his name no more because Montrezl Harrell made me forget. He made me forget everybody, dog. All we need, Gafford, Caldwell Pope, all the regular Bama's, Kispert, the young kids. That's it. We don't need nobody else, dog. We don't need nobody coming in messing up this chemistry we got right now. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Because all in all, these Bamas are hooping from top to bottom. And the coaching, Wes Unseld Jr., bro, I got to apologize because I didn't know what to expect. So I'm very pessimistic over the team and the outcomes and all that because we just haven't had it here. So I was like, man, just Bama here. Woo, woo, woo. Bro, I'll treat you to a steak dinner at Sizzlers, dog. It's on me, bro. It's on me. You and Tommy. Tommy looking like a halfway genius out here, dog. He got rid of the John Wall contract, which John Wall ain't even playing games in Houston right now. They don't even got the Bama suited up. He ain't even suited or booted. They don't. You got out of the John Wall contract. You swap him for 1 year. A Russell Westbrook OC out of control, throw the ball off the backboard, try to slam it and everything. Like, you got him for 1 year who helped you be relevant. Y'all made it to the playoffs. And then you got rid of his contract, shipped him out of town, and got 3 valuable pieces to change the face of this franchise. Then you went in and acquired Dinwiddie, who everybody kind of like wrote off from a team that didn't really need him, but could probably use him, but didn't need him. If they knew Kyrie Irving wasn't going, they probably could have made room for him and try to make it work. But that was a power move by management here to get Dinwiddie, because Dinwiddie, quiet as kept, he might be. It's Montrezl Harrell is the best player on the team, in my opinion, because his value is irreplaceable. Bill is the best scorer on the team, but Bill in crunch time, the Bama do be turning the rock over. We gonna keep it all the way 100. He be turning the rock over in crucial moments, and because he can score, that kind of people just kind of ignore that part of it, or just give him a pass and this and that, or he'll make a boneheaded play and then come back and then hit a clutch bucket. So you like, oh, whatever. Dog, the turnovers late in games gotta stop. That's the first things first, dog. We just gonna keep it all the way 100. He a good scorer. All-star supers. No, I don't know about all that yet, but he's good. But Dinwiddie in the clutch, in the crunch time, I had 100% confidence with the ball in his hand. He either gonna make the right play or make the right play. I have not, for the course of this year, seen him make a boneheaded play where I'd be like, dog, what is this Bama doing? I have not had to say that about him. I had to say it about Bill, you know, maybe some of the other players, Kyle Pope and some of these other players, even Kuzma at a time or two, even though he's played exceptionally well. But Dinwiddie, I've really seen him just do the right thing. He might have had one gap here and there, but overall, he's been so solid, dog. So solid. He goes to the rack, aggressive. He knows how to use his body and maneuver around the cup. He knows how to finish. He knows how to pass. He knows when to pass. He knows when to shoot. This Batman has stepped up in Bill's absence and been a scoring threat, hit clutch bucket. I mean, this dude is a steal. Tommy, shake my hand, dog. Shake my hand. Shake my hand. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. If they can sustain, confidence is a dangerous thing. And I feel like the Wizards are confident. They are. They're very confident. So, I mean, we're gonna ride this roller coaster. I'm not gonna get off the ride. I'm just gonna ride the roller coaster all the way. Yeah. In other basketball news, Ben Simmons is getting fined. He misses a road trip. They finding him on the other side of town. Kyrie chilling. So you know how it goes. Double standards, dog. When you valuable, they just make concessions. And I think I don't really. It's interesting because it's not a whole bunch of talk about Kyrie, but there's a whole bunch of talk about Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons, he's getting fined. Look like the team just trying to make it unpleasant for him, and ain't shipping him out of there. I mean, he don't want to be around. He pulled a mental health card, and people were reluctant to criticize him because you can't talk about mental health. Like, come on, what is we doing? But then at the same time, people trying to vet it to see if it's real, if it's legit. I mean, I don't even know how you kind of figure that out, but like, it's a general sentiment that he kind of faking the funk. I don't know necessarily if that's true, but I know he's in an uncomfortable situation. I don't know what if they're gonna wait to the trade deadline. I mean, do the Philadelphia 76ers think that his value is increasing with all of the shenanigans and stuff going on with his name? Like, I just don't. I don't know what the end goal is. It just does not make sense to me. What they're planning, what they're thinking. You got to do something with him. He's not playing. I mean, Tyrese Maxey been balling. He been cooking in his absence and kind of taking a lead role, which you want to see if you're the organization, but at the same time, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Can they get this situation corrected and rectified? I don't know. It might be irreparable at this point. I mean, you finding a man, he's still on the roster, but he's not playing. You want him to go to the trip on the road trips, and at the same time, he's not playing at all. So I mean, you just trying to see him spiral out. I don't. What is the end goal? Is there conversations with upper management? Is he talking to his agent? I don't like. What are these conversations? I just think this is a distraction to your team that you need to handle. I don't know, man. They got to figure it out, and they got to figure it out soon, because it's just gonna go downhill from here. If it already hasn't gone downhill. Um, I know a couple weeks ago, um, you had Scottie Pippen come out and he talking ill of Michael Jordan and basically saying Mike wouldn't be Mike without him, wouldn't be no chips, and how the documentary kind of painted him in a bad light. Of course, he released a book. He's he's talking reckless though. Shout out my man Brian P. And he called me one morning before we hit the links to go golfing. But I'm heavy on the golf course. Even in the winter, we getting it in. Uh, and he was just like, what is Pippen talking about? And I mean, we know Pippen is on hard drugs. He trying to sell his book. He needs some salacious material, and Jordan is the prime medium for that. And honestly, nobody believes Scottie Pippen, though. MJ is when listen. If you take Scottie Pippen, you put him on any other team, he not winning no chip. You switch Scottie Pippen and Robert Horry, you throw Robert Horry on the Chicago Bulls and that team, they getting a chip. They getting a chip, dog. Scottie Pippen is going to the Hall of Fame because of Michael Jordan. If Scottie Pippen was on any other team, he not going to the Hall of Fame. Come on, let's keep it 100, people. He not going. I'm not putting him in there. They had that list of top 75 players, I think, or whatever. Yo, Bam would have been a good player, but he wouldn't have been going to the Hall. He not getting 6 chips. So, Scotty, you got to chill out, bro. You need more people. We don't believe you, bro. We just don't. We just don't. You had a chance to do it without him and couldn't do it. So, I mean, Scotty, he off his rocker. He off his rocker. On to some NFL. OBJ, he goes over to he switches teams. He gets released. He ends up playing on the Rams. First game out, it just didn't look good. I mean, shout out my man, Fat Boy Diz, Where's Buffy podcast. We talked about it. I told him that I do not believe OBJ will reach where he used to be. I'm not saying he washed, but I'm saying he damp. He a little damp. He not all the way washed, but the knees ain't good. He's had health issues. I think the role in which he's looking to be and play is just not going to end up being what he anticipates it or wants it to be. I think Sean McVay, they have a system, and that system is the system. And I think he'll have some spot games here and there because I think that they'll force feed him a little bit in certain instances. But I just don't foresee him actually reaching the climax that people would anticipate him reaching this year. I think what happens is coaches and teams, they may have expectations for a player like OBJ, and then they get him into their team, and then they realize that he may be a shell of his former self, or he just doesn't have certain levels of explosiveness, or there's other things that could be problematic to him being on the team. And they just say, we're not trying to deal with it. And they either, say this is the role that you're going to be in. You just got to kind of deal with it. And we already know OBJ, he going to find a way for his voice to be heard, though. Whether it's through his peoples, LeBron and them and the people he rock with heavy, his dad, just different people. We've seen them known to speak on his behalf while he just kind of sit in the background and chill out. Now, is OBJ a diva? Yes, he's a diva. But number one receivers is divas, dog. I mean, at one point or another, like they want the ball, they think they can do. Shoot, I'm a diva, dog. I'm on a football field. Throw me the rock. I'm mossing everybody. I'm getting banking Bama's out of here. Like, that's what we do. But Father Time is undefeated, to quote my man. Knees is knees, dog. And if your knees is buckled, they ain't buckled up for safety, there's nothing you could do. So I don't see the Rams using OBJ the way that people would anticipate it on paper. I could be wrong, you know what I'm saying? But it's just how I'm feeling about it. So we'll see. We'll see. But nonetheless, Rams got washed. San Francisco came out, gave them the old 1976 game plan. We're gonna run, pass, touchdown. Run, pass, play action pass, touchdown. Got them with the old school, and Rams wasn't ready for it, dog. They wasn't ready for it. And you had Debo, Samuel have a cook 'em time affair out there, and it just didn't go well for the Rams on offense or defense. So that's just how the cookie crumbles. I think the Rams got to hit back to the drawing board. I think Shanahan heard all the murmurs about him being on the hot seat, and he called up his dad probably and was like, "Yeah, I need a winning game plan." He was like, "Oh, just every once in a while, Alabama's get away from the run situation, and they don't be expecting it. Just go power run all night, and then play action pass off the power run. You're gonna slow the game down. You'll get the Rams. They're gonna be befuddled." And that's exactly what happened. Rams was not ready for a hard nose, we gonna run this down your throat all night type of game plan, because they was not ready for it. And it came back to hurt them, dog. And so San Francisco ran off with the game. Rams caught another L. That's 2 back-to-back. It is what it is. We've seen some upsets as of late. The Lamar Jackson and the Ravens got upset. The Detroit Lions and the Steelers tied. Mason Rudolph some trash too. Sorry, Will. That's my man. Shout out my man, Will. Mason Rudolph some garbage, dog. You cannot tie the Rams. I will not tie the Detroit Lions. You put me out there right now, 1 week prep time. I'm not tying the Detroit Lions, dog. It's not happening, bro. It's not happening. I'm throwing for 333, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. It's automatic. They got Tomlin got, I don't know, they say they're preparing to not have Ben Roethlisberger again. And Ben Roethlisberger ain't that much better, but he better than Mason Rudolph, though. So I don't know. But this week was another week of upsets in the NFL. Speaking of upsets, how did they win? My man got his hands up looking at I don't know, though. I don't know. I don't know how they did it. They caught Tom Brady sleeping for 2 quarters. He was asleep. This man was in a coma because he almost threw 3 picks. Almost threw 3. The one jump went through my man's hands and hit the ground barely. If he could have just scooped it up on it, it might have been 3 picks early. But nonetheless, it came down to really the last possession where the Washington football team had a possession, and a first down basically allowed them to rock out the clock. If they would have ended up kicking a field goal, I think we probably would have lost. But he was able to escape, dog. They were able to escape through. They got our running back in the end zone twice. The Heineke threw a bunt. I mean, it was a lot of luck in this jump because it was tip passes, should have been picked off, this and that. Just didn't happen. They skimped through and beat the Bucs. I know the Bucs had injuries. I know Chris Godwin wasn't 100%. I know they didn't have AB. All of the above. To me, it's all excuses. Honestly, you can't. It's the NFL. Everybody got injuries. Everybody dealing with people who hurt and different things like that. You got to play through it. So I don't know, man. Like it's a good win for the Washington football team. I think it give Heineke like a 6-game extent, like this man, dog. Maybe he just got the Bucks number, dog. Seems like he played against the Bucks and he just go all world. I mean, but I ain't gonna size Heineke, dog. I mean, he played well enough to win, but he's still a backup in my eyes. I'm not gonna get too hype over it. But yeah, it was a shocker. Vegas caked up, though. Vegas was like, they cashed in. Because I'm sure Washington was on maybe 80% of parlays for the weekend. Had to be on 80% of the parlays. Washington was on that jump. So I think it buys a little bit of extension for Ron Rivera because they needed a win. You know, you needed to see the Washington football team fight. They would have laid down. I think it would have just made matters worse for here and in the city. I mean, honestly, we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback. And until you get one, it's just going to be up and down. They we'll see what this next game holds. But overall, how did they win? If you would have told me Washington was going to win and then go ahead and bet my whole check, I would have looked at you like you crazy and be like, nah, Bob, can't do it. You be like, dog, they going to win, though. I know they going to win. No way I'm taking them chances, though. No way. No way. And they won, which is crazy. Which is crazy. We're going to get to these games. Now, I'm going to go through the games. I'm going to give you the spreads on the games and all the information and stuff. But I'm not putting my picks in as of yet because I'm not going to give the advantage to my counterparts in this whole situation because we got the steak dinner at the end for the winning. So I got to make sure we all on an equal playing field. So I'm gonna get the wins and losses. Still got to total them all up, but we still close. It's still close and it's still early. Let's see these games we got for this weekend. Let's close that there. Okay, so we got on Thursday night, we got the New England Patriots at the Atlanta Falcons. I think everybody here is pretty much sold on the New England Patriots beating the Falcons. The spread is -7 in favor of the New England Patriots. Falcons just got washed by the Dallas Cowboys, which I'm not surprised. Cowboys played it. They look good. New England has been playing pretty good as of late. Falcons is not a good football team. And I expect New England to beat the Atlanta Falcons, Mac Jones and all. So if I had to pick here, I would go with the -7 with the New England Patriots. These Thursday night games is tricky. So from a like a fantasy standpoint, I tend to stay away from these Jones. If you got players in this Thursday night games, get them out because Thursday is not enough time to prepare to play a football game. It's just not. So I'm pulling anybody I have in the lineup out unless it's non-negotiable. You have no other options. If you have a backup option, go with the backup. Do not play him on the Thursday night games. Trust me on that one. I know the young running back for the rookie running back for the New England did well this past week. I think people probably anticipating he do numbers again. I wouldn't play him Thursday night. Then you have Sunday lineup. You have Baltimore Ravens at the Chicago Bears. Baltimore's favorite -6. You probably get a whole new Ravens team. They lost on Thursday night. They get an extra time to prepare. They're gonna come with it. I got the Ravens beating the train breaks off the Chicago Bears more than 6 points. So if I had to pick there, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. Detroit Lions at the Cleveland Browns. Browns took a mean L to the Patriots. I it wasn't New England. Patriots be cheating, dog. I'm just gonna keep it all the way 100. I still think they be cheating. I think that's how they be winning games, dog. They be tapping Bama's headsets and all types of stuff when you going to New England. And like you just don't have no real credible proof of it, 'cause they've been taped, dog. The consequences were never severe enough for Bill Belichick to stop cheating. If I go rob a bank and take $100,000 from a bank, and these Bama's sit me down in the back of a police car like First 48, take me down to the police station, and then put me in a room, talk to me for 3 hours, and then let me go and say, don't do it again. What's going to stop me from going get another bank and robbing a junk for $100K when that's the the reward outweighs the consequence. That's what they did to Bill Belichick in the Spygate jump. Bama was cheating, had tapes, all that stuff. They just let Bama skate on through the sunset. They ain't take no draft picks like that, nothing. Bama chilling. So they still cheating. They still cheating. This game is in Atlanta, so it may be a little different, but it is what it is. But for the Browns, they got mud hole because I think especially when you see them in New England, it's just different rules. Detroit will lose this game. The Browns are better than Detroit. They will run all over them. Case closed. I got the Browns minus the 10. Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Green Bay Packers just played it against Seattle this past week, and what was seemingly a boring game. This won't be so boring. It's always good to see Kirk Cousins out there. Shout out Kirk Cousins, all the Kirk Cousins apologists out there. He's going to lose this one. Kirk Cousins is going to lose this one. I got the Green Bay Packers minus the 2.5 against Minnesota with Aaron Rodgers. Then you got the Houston Texans at Tennessee Titans. Houston is underdogs plus 10. Tennessee Titans is probably one of the better teams in the NFL right now. They're balling. They've been balling. I like Tennessee in this game. Minus 10 with Tyrod. I'm going to say, I think this is one where they have a hook on this one. I'm going with the Texans plus the 10.5 against Tennessee. I just think there's a hook in there somewhere. It just seems too easy. Too easy of a pick. Yeah, I'm going with the Houston Texans plus the 10.5 against the Titans. Then you have the Indianapolis Colts at the Buffalo Bills. Colts have been playing better as of late. Buffalo Bill won a game. I'm going with the Colts in this one, plus the 7.5. I'm going with the Colts plus the 7.5. Miami Dolphins coming off a win versus the Ravens against the Jets. Jets are underdogs at home plus 3. I'm going with Miami. I do not trust the Jets, especially if Zach Wilson is at quarterback. Can't do it. Can't win with him. Then you have the New Orleans Saints at the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are favored minus 1.5. You have the Saints. I mean, this is a tough one. I think the Eagles have played much, much better as of late. I'm leaning the Saints from a defensive standpoint because their offense has been lackluster. And they will, I don't know the status of Alvin Kamara in this one. So that's something that needs to be seen. But as much as I want to pick Philadelphia, I'm going to have to go with the Saints in this one. Plus the 1.5. I think the Saints win this game. It's close, but I have the Saints winning this game. Then we have the San Francisco 49ers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. San Francisco just coming off a big win versus the Rams. They're favored minus 6.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm going to go with San Francisco. I think San Francisco deploys the same game plan against the Jacksonville Jaguars again as they did against the Rams. So, and I think it'll work. I got the 49ers minus the 6.5. Then you have the Washington football team versus Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are favored -3.5. My gut tells me the Carolina Panthers mudhole the Washington football team. I know a lot of y'all are out there confused. Like, what? They just beat the Bucks. Two sides to every coin. You're gonna see the other side this week. And you gotta realize too, if Cam Newton does play this week, which I believe he will, he's better than Sam Darnold. Uh Cam Newton wants to show Ron Rivera that you probably should have looked at me over Taylor Heineke. And since you bypassed me over Taylor Heineke, I'm gonna show you I still can play this game. And I think that they run all over the Washington football team. You have Chase Young, who is out with the knee. It looks like he's gonna be out for the rest of the season with the knee injury. And I'm not sure the extent of his torn MCL, ACL, or what, but he got surgery, so something's torn. It's going to be Carolina Panthers big against the Washington football team. Mark my words. 2 scores. I'm taking the Carolina Panthers 2 scores. Yep. Cincinnati Bengals at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders are underdogs at home. This is a pick 'em. I'm going with Cincinnati. They coming off the bye. They had time to prepare. This is an afternoon game. I like Cincinnati in this one. And you just picking them to win. Then you have the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona is favored -2.5 against Seattle Seahawks. Now, Russell Wilson is selfish. Yeah. He's selfish. He wasn't ready to come back, dog. His finger was not ready. He playing in cold weather. His finger probably really messed up now. And now he has to play because he just like this wasn't even about the team having the best chance to win. This is about Russell Wilson and his ego. And it cost them a game. He couldn't be accurate in his football game, throwing the football. I don't care what kind of rehab he did since he hurt himself. Like, he looked terrible out there. And the fact that the trainers and the organization and everybody agreed to this is egregious. It's egregious. Now, I think he will probably play a little bit better in this one because it'll be in Seattle, which the weather should be a little more favorable than it was in Green Bay, because Green Bay was brick. It was snowing out that joint. It was brick. So I'm expecting the conditions to be a little more favorable, but it was selfish nonetheless, and it cost them a game. If Kyler Murray plays, I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray sat out 2 games. I don't know how serious his injury is at this point, but it's serious enough to have him sit for 2 games. They went 1-1 in that stand in that time. So if Kyler Murray plays, I'm going with the Cardinals. If he does not play, I'm going with Seattle. Dallas Cowboys at the Kansas City Chiefs. This is probably the game of the week. I like the Dallas Cowboys in this game against the Chiefs. Chiefs defense is an easy bake oven, and I just think Dallas Cowboys have a high-powered offense. Kansas City will score points, but I think Dallas can score too. And this will be a good litmus test to see where Dallas is. And I just know, like I know, the Kansas City Chiefs, they just rarely cover. They just rarely cover in these games. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys in this. Shout out Jeremy. I know, I did pick the Cowboys. It's a new day. Then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored -5.5 right now. That's the line, but it'll probably move down to 3.5. I could see it. But But I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna go with the Steelers in this game. Um, the Chargers they started to look a little lackluster as of late. They lost to the Eagles. They're starting to not look like Chargers weeks 1 through 3. So I'm gonna go with Tomlin. I think that they were embarrassed to lose tie the Detroit Lions, and I think that he's gonna put added pressure on his team to perform, especially defensively against the Chargers. So I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this one. And then Monday night game, the New York Giants at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the Bucks are 11 and a half point favorites against the Giants. And I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, come on, bro. That's 11 and a half points. I think you may get Saquon Barkley in this game, surprisingly. And if so, that may help this team be even better. I think his ankle probably is okay now to play. So I'm gonna go with the Giants in this one to cover that 11 and a half point spread. Uh, it's your boy Laws, OSS 980, Other Side of Sports. Shout out to Where's Buffy podcast. Shout out to Kicking It with G-Man. Shout out to Lance J Radio. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha. Of course, Sports Reality and Jeremy John. Of course, Where's Buffy and the family. Shout out to my man Van. So we did the promo. You getting your PS5, dog. As soon as I get back, you getting the PS5. We will have an additional promo giveaway for Christmas. PS5 for Christmas. We got to get to 1,000 subscribers, and one lucky subscriber is going to get a PS5. So that's 2 PS5s we giving away. One's already been gone to our number one subscriber who shared the content the most. The next PS5 will just be a random selection for a guest, but ain't gonna be no PS5 until we get to 1,000 subscribers. So subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Laws, OSS 980, Other Side of Sports. Signing out. Peace.